feel like this video will change something inside of you because I know there are people who spend their lives waiting for the ones who hurt them, traumatized them, or treated them badly to apologize. I know there are so many people out there living in a kind of pit or even at rock bottom because they're waiting for forgiveness that may never come, or for someone to change who may not even want to change. I know what it's like to be in that position, wanting people to change, wanting to help someone who simply doesn't want to be helped. And from the bottom of my heart, I hope you can heal from all the apologies you never got but wished you had. I hope you can move forward despite it all. In today's video, I want to talk about how, even when we have the best intentions to help someone, we can't really help a person who isn't ready or who simply doesn't want help. I truly believe that people give what they have and what they're able to give. And sadly, sometimes the very people who were supposed to protect us are the ones who hurt us the most. It's hard to accept that, and we keep going over it in our minds, unable to close that chapter because we wanted them to be different, to apologize. But for reasons beyond our control, none of that happened. So the wound stays open. I'm making this video to tell you it's time to move on, even without the closure you wanted. It's time to accept things as they are and as they were, because it's our lack of acceptance that eats away at us, draining our heart and energy. We could be using that energy for so many beautiful things, but instead we let it get drained by things outside of our control. You can't change anyone. You can't make someone be different than who they are. The only thing you can change is yourself, your life, your perspective, your mindset, and you can set boundaries with people. Yes, unfortunately, some people won't be able to stay in your life. Maybe you've already tried everything, you've set boundaries, and they still don't respect them. Then you may have to let them go. And it's not because you don't love them or haven't forgiven them. Actually, I believe we should forgive everyone who hurt us because that's even biblical. Forgive 70 times 7 because God forgave and loved us first. But not everyone can stay in your life because you can't close that chapter if you keep letting them cross your boundaries. With other people, you may just need to adjust your expectations because while you keep insisting you need to do this and that and keep trying to change them, it just becomes exhausting. I know this well because from a young age, if you know me, you know that even as a teenager, I felt a deep calling to help people. And it's incredibly painful to want to help someone, to want them to change, and they're just not ready. It's a never-ending frustration. There's a fine line between being that pushy person who tries to force things on someone and just being there, available, saying, "I'm here if you want help." That's a big part of the message I want to share for people who do want to change, who have that desire in their heart but don't know where to start or feel lost and confused from everything they've been through. I want you to know, no matter how big or small your trauma was, whether it was something monstrous or something subtle, like my dad worked all the time and didn't have time for me, it doesn't define who you are. You can use your story, even the painful parts, to do things differently or even to help others. I went through a trauma as a child that I used to think was moderate, though now I see it was serious. For a long time, I couldn't even face it. As a teenager, whenever my mind went there, I would just shut it down. But when I became a mother, it all came back because it was connected to my childhood, to being a girl. At first, I was angry at the person. I kept thinking, why me? Why would they do that to me? But once I started looking at the situation more objectively, realizing things are what they are, that this person is who they are, I understood. They'll probably never apologize. They'll probably never even admit what they did. And once I accepted that they are who they are, and they gave only what they were capable of, I was able to forgive and move on without expecting anything from them. And from that place, I started thinking about what I could do within my power so that this cycle wouldn't repeat with my daughter or with future generations of my family. I chose not to stay in a victim mindset. Yes, I was a victim, but staying there forever is a choice. I told myself, this doesn't define me. I chose to reframe it and see, wow, Jake, you were so strong as a child. You endured that in silence. You only managed to talk about it as an adult. When you look at it this way, seeing your strength, seeing how you did what you could, you can also prepare so that if your child ever faces something similar, they'll know they're not alone. When you stop expecting anything from others and accept things as they are, you can move forward and even bring about change. Today, I can talk about it with close friends without it hurting anymore because I've healed and closed that chapter. Of course, sometimes I still have flashbacks, especially when it comes to my daughter. I may take extra precautions that others wouldn't, but that's just part of who I am now, and it doesn't have to be a bad thing. I'm not saying that once you heal, it all goes away completely. Maybe there will still be scars, but those scars don't define your worth or who you are. I don't know where you are in your journey. Maybe at the beginning of the pit, maybe in the middle, maybe at the bottom. If you're in the middle, that can actually be one of the most dangerous places to be, because at the bottom it's so painful and desperate that you're forced to find the strength to climb out. But in the middle, you can get used to the discomfort, like that story of the frog in water that slowly heats up until it boils. You start thinking, well, this isn't so bad until it's too late. So I ask you, do you really need that apology or forgiveness to move on? Or can you accept things as they are and stop trying to change the person, even if it's hard? I know this happens a lot with parents. It's hard to accept that sometimes the people we love most just want to stay the way they are. You can't force them to change, but you can change your need for them to change and move forward with your life instead of draining all your energy on something you can't control. Focus on what's in your control and let the rest go. If someone has to leave your life so you can move on, then let them go. Maybe someday they'll be able to respect your boundaries and then they can come back. But for now, sometimes you just have to let go. These days, instead of trying to change people who don't want to change, I pray for them. Prayer is so much more powerful than nagging. Don't let your unresolved pain drag you further down. It is possible to heal. I don't know your pain. I don't know what you've been waiting to hear or what happened to you, but I know you can get through it. Don't deny what happened. Yes, it happened, and it was wrong. But you can close the cycle, stop being consumed by it, and move on. You can reframe your story, see the strength and resilience it built in you, and make choices that protect the next generations or simply give you peace. What was done to you doesn't define your worth. The wrongs done to you say everything about the person who did them and nothing about you. Don't let their darkness consume you anymore. It's time to move forward, to accept what happened and live your life. Put your energy into building something good for yourself. I know it sounds simple and it may take years. It took me years. I recommend getting professional help if you can, a therapist, counselor, someone who can walk through this with you. And with peace in your heart, knowing none of it was your fault, you can finally move toward healing. Some people heal through therapy, others through forgiveness, others through prayer, others by seeing that it was just one chapter in their story that helped shape their character but does not define them. You are valuable. You are loved, no matter what happened to you. So this is a call to accept what was, close the cycle, and move forward. I hope this video helped you. Sending you love, and see you next time.